Brother. Mainstream media. Government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us. We've got Dr. Paul Craig Roberts, our guest, new book out, The Tyranny of Good Intentions. Okay, I mean, it really seems like an elementary equation. You've got these greedy, corrupt brokerage houses and banks that just do whatever they want. They rate their own, non-backed securities, bundles of derivatives, you name it, just all sorts of housing loans together. They sell them. They get billions of dollars of bonuses per company every year. And they literally are destroying the dollar, the country, our future, this institution, everything, just so they can continue pumping up the bubble. I mean, it really, I guess, in my mind, comes down to something pretty simple. Do you agree with that statement?
Well, Alex, they're also destroying themselves. Bear Stearns is gone. It may not be the only one. The Carlyle Group, which is a company in which American presidents, the Bushes, Jim Baker, foreign potentates,
Queen of England,
this thing has collapsed, and it's not bailed out. It's gone. So they're destroying themselves. You're certainly right that greed has caused them to be incompetent, and what it really is, it's like a bunch of sports freaks who want their team to do best. So each investment bank wanted to pay higher bonuses than its competitor, and it was all some sort of a crazy greed-driven incompetence. And it's come home, and I suspect, unless we get another Republican in there, that we will have a return of regulation to prevent this sort of insanity. They should never have repealed Glass-Steagall. So they are suffering themselves. Not only that, but foreigners have had to take large stakes in many of the banks, and both commercial and investment banks. And so they are kind of losing control, and they're becoming now dependent on the attitude of the Saudis or whoever else is now sitting on their boards. And so it's costing them a loss of control as well.
But isn't that what the globalists always said they wanted, was to get control of the U.S. by shipping our manufacturing overseas, by driving down the dollar so they could buy up our infrastructure? A month ago, the CFR wrote that big report saying, yeah, let's get rid of the dollar and bring in the Amero. I'm sure you've seen that. I mean, or is that just pipe dreams? Is that like the psychological excuse for what they're doing of, oh, it's part of a plan, but really it's just greediness?
I think it's some kind of pipe dreams. We've talked about this before. I think most of our troubles are the unintended consequences of ignorance and incompetence and unregulated greed. I don't see how anybody gains from destroying the capability of the American economy. Certainly not any kind of one world. They would want to use this as a platform, and it's inconsistent with the neocon ideology, which is American hegemony, American supremacy.
Well, I've talked to a lot of experts who say that they are trying to set up this world government, and that's in their own quotes. The head of the CFR openly calls for it, Richard Haas. But that these are the sons now of the old guys that really were smart and hardworking.
But Alex, the Bush administration's policymakers keep insisting that the United States is supreme, that it's that we don't have to pay attention to any international law, to the UN, to anything, and that we are above everything. So that's inconsistent with being taken over. I think, in fact, we are being taken over through failure. As I say, the United States is not a financially independent country any longer.
Well, I was agreeing with you. I'm saying we've got the spoiled brat kids of the old oligarchy that ran this country, and they're too busy with Jeff Gannon at the White House.
I don't know what to I think they're in delusion. I think the neoconservatives who have controlled the Bush administration for 7 years are deluded people, and they think that there's power here that's not here. And so they are not aware of the impending collapse of American power. It's coming at us financially, economically. Look, how can you be a superpower if your imports exceed your industrial production?
Oh, I understand that.
How can you be a superpower if you're dependent on China and Japan to finance your operations and your wars?
No, sir, I understand, and I appreciate your time. You're joining us for a full hour to talk about your book and a host of issues and get into some solutions of what you would do to try to turn this around next week. Dr. Roberts, thanks for spending time with us.
Thank you, Alex. Always a joy to talk to you.
Always enjoy having you on. All right, we'll be right back with Larry Pratt of Gunners of America. Second Amendment in Peril.